Today we're going to take a look at this Ninja Turtles slash Godzilla crossover for some reason. Here we have Michelangelo, who's apparently King Ghidorah now, and here in the front of the box, get some smashed up buildings. Get a little warning about small parts there. You can see old Mikey there. Some of his weapons. The side of the box, you get some fancy art there. A little peek inside. The bottom of the box, you get your barcodes and lucky numbers. A little bit of assembly instructions, multiple logos there. Warning about small parts. On the side of the box, get some more logos, some more fancy art there. Destroyed City. On the top of the box, you get your logos there. A little X in between. On the back of the box, get to look at some of the other turtles. Who they get to be. Get a little blurb down there. More QR code to see more logos. So yeah, let's go put this thing together and see if he's any good. Here we have Michelangelo out of the package, all put together, looking very lovely, very monster-like. He's very kind of scaly and kind of a greenish gold going on everywhere. Do get very turtle-like kind of head up here. Big teeth, still got the band up there. Does have some very nice horns. Get your kind of dragon-like shoulder pads there. Same kind of arms here. Still little bands there. Still M on his belt. Get a little pointy little claws on his feet here. Does have a fairly standard kind of articulation. He really can't go up too far because of the horns start going into things, and you get some back and forth, but the big old wings do kind of get in the way. Same with the legs. Get basic movement out there. They don't really go out though, unless you turn the leg. And then that looks kind of weird, but you know, it's fine. You get a little bit of feet motion there. They do turn and stuff. You get this big old tail back here, which doesn't really move or anything, but it is pretty nice. Kind of a turtle shell motif on the end there. They're a little flexible, but they don't really move or anything. Do get a bit of a twist there, but that's about it. You get your big kind of translucent kind of green wings, which don't really move or anything. They're just sort of fixed there. You get a bit of a shell back here where the wings come out of. Well, that's about it. You know, he looks like King Ghidorah mashed up with a turtle. It's not the most posable thing, but it does look nice, and it's pretty interesting of a crossover. So that's fun. You do get two of these nunchucks here, which are made of this kind of clear, translucent kind of plastic there. They don't really move or flex on it or anything. They pretty much just sort of fixed into place. Do get some paint on there, which is nice, but there's a little scuffed off there in this one. Oh, well, they look nice. Guess they're supposed to be kind of like his electrical powers, kind of, sort of. You know, but they look nice. And then they can just sort of stick it in his hands like, you know, normal kind of nunchucks. So there you go. Then he's holding two kind of bent sticks. But he still looks kind of cool. You can also take off his shoulder pads here, which sort of come off easily. And you can put them in his hands so you can kind of hold them. Kind of get it there right. It's probably much easier. Now I'm trying to film at the same time, but you know, you kind of get the idea. There you go, that's slightly better. Yeah, now you can make it kind of look like he has the three heads of Ghidorah there with the two little shoulder pads acting as additional heads, but you can kind of end up with the weird little holes in his shoulders, and these don't really like to stay on that well. They don't really want to like plug into his hands or anything. They just sort of sit there. So made of this very rubbery plastic, which doesn't really like to be held. But yeah, there you go. Good old Mikey is King Ghidorah. It's not the greatest thing, but it's still really cool, and hopefully they come out with some more monsters or various other characters. Only time will tell.